What is going on, everyone? Leon checking in, and today we're covering more of Android by discussing the Up Next feature in the application Pocket Cast, as well as its widget for an improved podcast listening experience. Now, that being said, I've been using Pocket Cast for a while now, and it's a really good app. It has a very nice user interface, and I can highly recommend it at this point. So, good layout, good operability. Overall, a very nice app, and this tutorial should help improve the experience. So let's talk how to do this. Now here I am on my Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6, and we're at the home screen of the Pocket Cast app, and the home screen is conveniently titled Podcast. Now again, I really like this application, and what you see here is we have a really clean layout. But continuing on, we're going to go ahead and select a podcast, and I'm going to go with Bloomberg Technology. So this will refresh the page to the Bloomberg Technology podcast page. And it's here that we can actually press and hold on an episode or multiple episodes. Yes, you can press and hold on multiple episodes, and then we can add them to the Up Next playlist by tapping on the Up Next icon in the top right hand corner. So as you can imagine, this will add selected episodes to the Up Next playlist, and we're going to get a nice little confirmation at the bottom of the display right above the playback bar. And speaking of this playback bar, if we look to the far right of it, we're going to have this little number here. It serves as somewhat of a notification. It lets you know just how many episodes are on your Up Next playlist. And if we tap on it, this is going to refresh the page and bring us to our Up Next playlist page. So again, really clean user interface. Up Next page is looking really nice here. And this is going to have all the episodes that we added to this playlist. So really nice playlist overall. And again, I can't recommend Pocket Cast enough. And speaking of user interface, what I also like here is that we're going to have our currently playing podcast right at the top there. And it's a progress bar. So as the podcast is playing, it's going to fill up. And that just kind of gives you an idea, a visual idea of how much of the podcast is still remaining. It's nice little things like this that I like about applications. So let's talk about options here. Well, one of the first things you can do is you could press and hold on a podcast if you want to switch to that podcast to start playing it. Then we also have the option to select one or multiple podcasts by tapping on the icon in the top right hand corner. And this allows us to edit this list. And then below this, we're going to have the option clear queue, so we can clear the whole queue. And if we want to do some modifications to this list, we want to change the order of the podcast here, or the podcast episodes, I should say, we could press and hold on the three lines to the far right of each podcast episode, which by the way is called a hamburger menu. And then we could drag those items around. So let's talk about my next favorite feature of Pocket Cast, and that's going to be the widget. Again, we're on my Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6, so what you're seeing here may look a little bit different than what you see on your device just because of the display size here. But I've already pressed down on the home screen and held for a moment, and here we are. This is Samsung One UI, and you can see we're going to have an option at the bottom. It's in somewhat of a toolbar here, going horizontal across the display. And we're going to have the option widgets, and we're going to tap on that. So this is going to refresh the page, and then we're going to scroll down until we see the option Pocket Cast, and then tap on that. And here we are with all the possible widgets for the application Pocket Cast. Again, very good app. You're going to have 4 choices here. But I'm going to scroll down to the last option, which also happens to be the largest option, the large player 4x3, and we're going to tap on that. So tapping on the option is going to show an add button over the widget, and then we can tap on that as well. And this is going to add the widget to our home screen. Now what I could say is I do like what the widget looks like. We're going to have good functionality built into it. We're going to have playback controls, and then we're going to have our list. And this just looks really good. It's easy to use without having to go actually into the application. But if we press and hold on the widget itself, we have the option to resize it, which I'm going to get to in a moment. But we also have a pop-up menu appear right underneath it with an option to remove the widget, but then also an option to create a stack, which is a feature I absolutely love in Samsung One UI. We've covered that in another video. So if you're interested in learning more about creating a stack for just maximizing efficiency on your Samsung device, you can click on the card in the corner of this video. But again, let's return to resizing this widget because you might want to make it larger for obvious reasons. So if we make it longer here, that's going to give us a wider or taller view, I should say. Wider and taller. You can make the widget wider and taller. So both are correct. And that's going to give us more retail space for the widget and allow us to see more of the contents in the Up Next playlist. So overall, Pocket Cast is a very good app if you're looking for a podcast application. And again, I highly recommend it. And I hope that you find this content useful. I'm hoping that you find this tip useful just for improving your podcast listening experience and hoping that you can learn a bit more from day to day to become a better person. So that is it for today's content. As always, thanks for watching and may the universe flow in your favor. And until next time, Leon checkin out.